In cases exonerated by DNA testing, more than 60 to 70% involved inaccurate eyewitness identification. That means a lot of people are not remembering or correctly identifying the suspects of crimes of these issues. Now, I don't blame them. It's hard to remember a stranger you met once, especially in the span of days, hours, etc. And most people are probably only thinking of 7 things: the person's gender, their age, their hair color, their eye color, their height, any characteristics, the body weight, etc. That could be anybody, even though that's very descriptive considering how much you can remember. But that's so hard to really pin down. So I built this, ClearWitness, and this is a tool to help people find suspects easier, especially when it's fresh out in their memory, not waiting for a forensic artist, not having like that list of characteristics. There's really not that much to go off of. Even if you identify someone by clothing, other people can wear the same clothing. That's why I have so many people incorrectly taken into custody just because they resemble an inaccurate description. Now, in this ClearWitness, through prompting, so say male, 50 years old, skinny, scar on, let's do a small scar on left cheek, blonde hair, what else? Blue eyes. Let's do complexion, yeah, fair plain. We already have these here. Facial hair, we'll do stubble, and we already said 50, so I'll make sure these are similar. Correct blue, we already have that, and I'm going to generate an iteration. Now, this is why it's super important. Most cases, you'll have iterations like this, but to adjust and get a build on top of it is super important, because the first iteration is more than likely going to be wrong, because this is just a generic person I'm drafting here. But to then, this is where my site works really well, I can take this, I can click the sketch mode, I can able to draw some features. We have to see the scar, see that. But this is where it gets really important. We can work on specifics. So say, for example, I think his head was a little bit shorter. Let's see. I think I mentioned, so I think it was a bit like this. Let me just make some differences. Ears should be kind of like this angle. No, that's actually fine. I'm going to leave those ears like that. Let's make him... Okay, so we have like the warpness, which is fine. No, let's start with that. Let's start with that. So here, I want to make this a forensic sketch this time. So I can switch between realistic image and forensic sketch, which is important because you can even upload images. So for example, you upload a base. So forensic artists can actually take and upload their images into this to then generate a realistic looking version of the suspect. Now, there are other factors here, which I'm really excited to show you, but let's start with this first. So as you can see here, we have our sketch. So I'm going to add this to the sketch mode. And you notice the image got a little shorter, like his length of his face got shorter, but you're not going to really see that comparatively. So let's actually now go to the lab edit. So I'm going to take this. So this is like almost like video games where you customize unique specific features of the face. So let's say his face was much wider, his face length was much shorter, face width. I'm kind of going to extreme so you can kind of see the changes, if you would. Let's make him chubbier. Jaw width, jaws, chin, that's fine. I think his hair, I tilted just slightly. His nose size was just slightly bigger. His nose width was just slightly shorter. Let's make his nose size a bit larger. Lip fullness, a little less. Keep the brow mouth width. Yeah, let's make him a bit wider. We have other features here. Hair texture, hair recession. Yeah, a bit more hair recession. Aging. Let's do, looks a lot older. He's aging a little bit more, ear size a little bit, protrusion less. And then we have muscle mass. Let's do body weight just a little bit, just because I mentioned his cheeks. And then skin tone, yeah, darker, still white, and update preview. Now these features are going to be very useful when you're trying to adjust specific things. Without these tools, it becomes a whole like 30 different iteration process of trying to find the right image of the suspects. Now, because we're in forensic artist mode, forensic art modes, forensic sketch mode, we can then port it over and make it realistic once we get closer to it. But even these sketches are good for being able to adjust. As you can see here, I made a lot of changes, like aging wise, face width, face height, etc. And this is a huge differentiator between like our initial iteration to now. So if you see here, we went from like, oh, he's generically white, to now, oh, he actually was a lot, comparatively a lot more. So I can save this as well. a lot more different. So see here, this image versus an image like that. So you can see this initial build to more like a this. So where I have here, I can make some adjustments. So let's make it, his hair was more messy. His hair was more messy, that's fine. And then let's actually do a realistic image this time. So now with this image, I can take this and actually add little changes. And it's fine to switch in between because it gives you a bit more objective view of the person. And once you're able to generate the feature, we can then update this. Now this whole thing has all these tools to help it make it easier for you to identify. You can adjust the hue, saturations, coloring. Essentially, it's got to be set aside so it's easier for you. As you can see, we have this messy hair. This is a whole lot more, whole different person when you compare it. Now that I'm able to add these features accordingly, super important. Like I mentioned, you can upload base. If I wanted to save this, that's fine. Save the case, that's fine. But the whole idea is you can upload images that you found. So if you have a photo of them, etc., you can actually upload that. As well as same for this this character lab. Texting is just text prompting. And if I want to enhance it, I just enter here, enter my blurred image. And keep in mind, before I forget this, because I'm going to forget, there's different languages as well. So if you want to do, like, if you're in a different country, you can access this. This is all powered by Google Gemini, super powerful stuff. Now we have the blurred image here. It's me when I'm like flirting. And like, it's important. Sometimes you'll take a photo and like you might not get a good glimpse of the person. You don't have a good description of him or them. How do you then get this generated? So I'm going to do this to create my reconstruction of the person's face. So based upon this image, how do we think this person looks like? Of course, the first iteration is not going to be correct, but we use that to then add more features and then make this a little bit more clear. So let's take a look at how that would look like. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is, considering this is like a very quick blurred image, much closer. Now keep in mind, it's taking from some of the traits from my other build, so I have to normally build a new case. But in this case, let's make him less combed hair. No, let's make him younger. Let me make sure the age is a bit, oh yeah, 50. So 30s, make him look younger. Wow, this looks so much like me. It's actually insane, especially like in the older version. Let's generate this. So a younger version of this, 30s, and we're going to de-age, and we'll see how the results come into play, because it's still factoring these, and let's factor it in. Granted, you can also adjust skin color, you can adjust ethnicity, you can do all that for these other images, but in this case, I had this suspect. Oh, wow. Yeah, so definitely much younger. Now, this is where I transform the face. I mean, the face, yeah, not bad. I think I just need to add, like, it changes the eye a bit. The haircut style needs to change, maybe a bit more, like, make them a bit more rounder face. Yeah, so this is a little bit closer. I mean, the face a little rounder. And then no smooth skin, and no wrinkles. Smooth skin, no wrinkles, less hair. Hair combed. No, just less hair. Half hair. A little less hair. Little less hair. Facial hair. Oh, right. Make the facial hair a little neater. This is all via this blurred image I shared, and these are just from text. So you'll notice, if you were to describe me, tall Asian guy, he has a mustache, he's, you know, good looking, super attractive, I wish I fell in love with him. There's a lot of those things out there. Compare that to this. This is like night and day in terms of like finding a suspect, like finding someone who like you're trying to like figure out. This is so important, and I think it's really useful for like people to be able to then identify and then find these like suspects when you have these like descriptors, because it makes it clearer and it makes it easier for people to then like, here, let me actually see if I can delete this part. Make the hair. If I fix the hair, I can definitely work on this to make it look more like me, but this is a huge step in the right direction. But yeah, this is my site. I built it in a day for the hackathon. I got first place in the Nano Banana category. Super happy about it. I think it's a great site. I think it's hopefully going to help a lot of people, which is super important. And of course, you know, if I wanted to change a lot of things about this, I can. There's the text, there's the character lab, there's sketching. You can upload, you can save, you can export. You can view in 3D, which is what we have right here. But yeah, there's a whole lot of things out there that's just useful for you from all use cases. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I had a lot of fun building it. I think this is going to be so important for helping suspects get caught, helping witnesses, and what do we call it? People who are taking advantage of, find better closure of finding having the suspects put to justice. So thank you so much. This was ClearWitness, and I hope you enjoyed this product.